Okay, so this asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. You probably already know that part. But what if I told you that it also gave rise to the mammals? Yeah, me too. That's one hell of an impact. Okay, so let's talk about this asteroid. It was about 6 miles or 10 kilometers in diameter, and it slammed into the Earth about 66 million years ago in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. It left behind a crater that was named Chicxulub, which is where we got the name Chicxulub for the impact event. The asteroid impact was so big that it's the second largest confirmed impact in Earth's history, only beaten out by the Sudbury Basin impact in Canada, which happened about 1.8 billion years ago and is nearly 3 times larger than Chicxulub. And while the Sudbury impact likely did cause some kind of mass extinction, it was at a time when life on Earth was mostly limited to single-cell organisms. So the event that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs is what we call a KPG event, named after the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods. This was a mass extinction that marked the end of the dinosaurs and many other forms of life, and it's widely believed to be caused by this asteroid. But while the asteroid impact was definitely the main driver of the mass extinction, scientists have found evidence that there were multiple factors that contributed to the total number of species that went extinct. So just before the asteroid impact, the supercontinent Pangaea had broken apart and the climate was starting to change, becoming colder and drier in some regions. This would have stressed out some species and made them more vulnerable. But these environmental changes were happening gradually over millions of years. So it wouldn't have been catastrophic all of a sudden. Then came the asteroid. When the asteroid hit, it would have caused a huge explosion and released an enormous amount of energy. It also would have vaporized a lot of rock and soil, which would have gotten into the atmosphere and blocked out the sun. And here's where things get a little weird. Computer models suggest that the impact would have blasted so much debris into the atmosphere that the sky would have been filled with glowing noctilucent clouds for months. These are clouds that form high in the mesosphere, which is the highest layer of the troposphere, the region of the atmosphere where we live, and they typically only appear at high latitudes. But because the asteroid impact would have disrupted normal atmospheric circulation patterns, these clouds would have glowed all over the world, and during the day too, blocking out the sun and plunging the planet into darkness. And the impact would have generated giant tsunami waves that would have crashed into coastlines all over the world, causing massive devastation. And then the cold would have set in because the impact would have thrown so much dust into the atmosphere. It would have reflected and scattered sunlight away from the Earth, cooling the planet. In fact, it is estimated that the average global temperature dropped by about 6 degrees Celsius, or 10 degrees Fahrenheit, within a year of the impact. Some scientists even think that the impact may have triggered an ice age. So yeah, not exactly an ideal environment for life after the asteroid. So the impact and the resulting mass extinction was terrible, but it also created opportunities for new life to evolve. Mammals were among the first major group of animals to take advantage of this. There were small proto-wombats that scurried around in the underbrush, shrew-like creatures that scurried up trees, and early relatives of whales that were just hanging out in the water. These mammals weren't the first to make it big after the asteroid. In the millions of years following the impact, many different groups of organisms appeared. But the mammals that came out of that mass extinction were the ones that eventually gave rise to us. So thanks, asteroid. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, maybe watch this one next. It's about another asteroid that could be hurtling towards Earth. Or this one, which is about the real Jurassic Park. Both of those videos are pretty great. Just saying. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe my channel to support my work. See you next time.